Dizzy stammered, trying not to be intimidated by the unicorn's completely indifferent demeanor.
I came to apply for a job. I saw the ad in the paper and...
The unicorn suddenly looked considerably more interested. A potential employee? That's good news! Come on back here, my office is at the end of the hall. As suddenly as she had arrived, the unicorn disappeared again into the depths of the building. She hadn't even stepped far enough from the shadow of the doorway for the Pegasus to get a good look at him. Dizzy cautiously flew over to the desk and gave the door a nudge. It opened to a hallway just as barren as the front room, and the Pegasus caught a glimpse of the unicorn disappearing into the last room at the end.
Building is short, drab.
The cross-eyed pony mumbled as she walked past a row of identical unmarked doors. Only two in the whole hall gave any indication of what lay behind. One was marked with a symbol of a staircase, and the door to which Dizzy was headed held a nameplate. Dr. Candyfloss, Senior Manager. Dizzy entered the office and found the unicorn was presumably Dr. Candyfloss sitting behind his desk. She squinted at the sudden change in lighting. This room held a window, but that wasn't blocked by any outside structure, allowing to flood the unicorn. Once her eyes adjusted, Dizzy turned her attention towards the unicorn himself. Dr. Candyfloss had a very airy appearance about him. His coat was white, contrasting with his magenta mane and tail, both of which seemed to be spread out lazily in a wispy sort of style, as if wind had blown his hair back and it had frozen in place like that. It looked curiously like the aerated sugar product that was the unicorn's namesake, if not for the slightly darker colour of his mane. He also wore a small bow tie and a thick gold ring around one hoof. Perhaps most unusual were his eyes, which were a cloudy grey colour that caused him to cast a somewhat unsettling glaze. Dizzy glanced at his cutie mark, which appeared to be a small golden bow with an arrow in place. The Pegasus had no idea what it meant, but she never questioned it if a pony's cutie mark didn't seem much to match their career, considering the bubbles that adorned her flank had nothing to do with her passion for mail delivery or muffins. "Come in, miss, come in," Dr. Candyfloss called, gesturing to a chair in the corner. His voice was unusually high and breathy for a male pony. Dizzy moved to the chair in question and faced the unicorn.
Hi,
she said cheerfully.
So, this is where I apply, right?
"That it is," the unicorn said with a smile. "I'm very glad to find some pony showing an interest. We're woefully understaffed right now. So, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to get right to the interview." His horn glowed briefly, and a quill and piece of paper escaped the clutter of his desk rose up in front of him. "So, Mom, why don't you give me your name and tell me a bit about yourself?" Dizzy cleared her throat.
Well, my name's Ditsy Doo. I'm a Pegasus living a short way outside of Cloudsdale. I'm looking for a job to support myself and my filly, since I'm a single mum, and...
Hold it, Dr. Candyfloss intervened, frowning. "You're a single mother? Dear me, I'm afraid if you're separated, it won't look good for her."
Actually...
Dizzy cut him off.
We're not... we weren't separated. It's just my husband is... deceased.
"Oh!" the stallion responded. Much to Dizzy's confusion and slight indignation, Dr. Candyfloss seemed to brighten considerably at this news. "Well, that works then. No problems. Please continue." Dizzy struggled to find her voice again.
Why in Equestria?
She thought.
Would it be preferable to have a dead spouse to a separated one?
She decided it didn't matter either way. She couldn't fathom how either option could have any bearing on a delivery job.
So...
She picked up.
Yeah, I need the job if possible, since I don't have any income at the moment.
"Don't worry," the unicorn responded. "We'll be sure to hire you if at all possible and help you with the whole nasty business." He glanced at his notes. "Speaking of which, would you mind giving me past employment details?"
Well, my last job was at Cloudsdale Mail and Freight.
The Pegasus continued, somewhat nervous about the direction the topic was taking. "Your position?"
Mailmare, of course.
"And why did you leave that job?"
Well...
Ditsy began, her head shopping a bit in shame.
I wasn't particularly punctual, or good at navigation. I get the job done most of the time, but I'm a little slow at it because of my eye condition.
Yes, I was wondering about the eyes, Candyfloss responded. No offense, of course, they're just curious.
Oh, it's no problem. I get that a lot.
Ditsy replied, waving away the mention of her unusual eyes.
So anyways, eventually they had to let me go, because I couldn't keep up with their speed and accuracy standards.
She leaned forward suddenly.
But I really try my best. Surely, with your understaffing here, employing a less than 100% efficient pony is preferable to not employing one at all.
Calm down, my dear, Dr. Candyfloss responded with a reassuring smile. Don't let it worry you. Such difficulties make little difference to us here. Ditsy was struck dumb. The unicorn had brushed off her somewhat terrible delivery record like it was nothing.
Gee, Dr. Candyfloss,
She said honestly.
you guys must really be desperate for employees then.
The unicorn smiled at the confused pony. No, Miss Ditsy. It is simply that I am more concerned about your personality than your physical skills. For this job, and you seem to be quite charming, friendly as well as honest, I think you will be fine.
Well, thanks.
Ditsy replied, smiling.
So, is there anything else you need to know?
The unicorn put a hoof to his chin in thought. Well, just outstanding medical conditions, I suppose. How bad really is your little eye problem? Do you currently have any other major health issues? Ditsy grinned sheepishly.
The eyes are the only problem, and they aren't really that bad. My depth perception is a little off, and I get lost easily. Oh, and I can't read very well. But other than that, I'm fine.
Dr. Candyfloss scribbled down a few more notes with his magical quill, then looked up and smiled politely at his Pegasus guest. Well done, Miss Ditsy-Do. I think you'll make the cut. I'll be happy to make you a member of the team at Equestria Speedy Shippy Service. Ditsy's eyes lit up.
Really? I'm hired?
Almost, the unicorn chuckled. Just sign the line on the employment contract. He levitated a long scroll full of text and a quill over to Ditsy. She glanced briefly at the contract and didn't see any particularly noticeable problems with it. Besides, Dr. Candyfloss seemed trustworthy, just a bit unconventional. Ditsy put her doubts aside and signed her name at the bottom of the contract, which promptly rolled shut and floated into the unicorn's file cabinet. Excellent, Dr. Candyfloss chirped. It's still a little early, so we'll have time to send you out on your first assignment later today. In the meantime, please head upstairs to the employee lounge. At least one of our other members should be up there to show you around. I'll call you over the intercom when I have your first assignment.
Thank you, sir.
Ditsy squealed excitedly. She performed a goofy salute before zipping out of the office. Dr. Candyfloss chuckled to himself as he watched her go. Such enthusiasm, he said to himself. I just hope she can live up to my expectations. This kind of job takes a special kind of pony. She may not be a top-notch mailmare, but perhaps she can find her duties here to be more to her taste. Fast forward. Ditsy opened the door with the little stairway sign on it. As she proceeded up the narrow stairwell, she thought to herself about her new boss. He was an unusual pony, to say the least. Ditsy wondered why he seemed more concerned about her personality than her skills. Maybe she was going to be assigned to a short, easy mail full of little old ponies who liked to stop and have a friendly conversation with the mailman. The grey Pegasus was so busy fraternizing about her job that she crashed right into the upper door, causing it to swing open. Once she had recovered from the impact, she was able to peer into the employee lounge. It wasn't lavish, but at least it was furnished. A few couches and a bookshelf sat around the edges. A fridge sat in one corner, and there was a fresh coffee on the counter. Well as crumbs on a plate, the remnants of what Ditsy hoped to Celestia had been muffins. The door had a rather high ceiling and a large window. It seemed a calm and cozy place for her to relax between deliveries. However, there was no sign of the other pony Candyfloss had mentioned. Maybe he or she had left early, or there was an assignment after all. Hey, yeah, you, the grey mare! Surprised by the voice, Ditsy peered almost straight up, and then spotted a Pegasus that had been hovering by the ceiling where she entered. He had a red coat and a brown mane, and a pair of intense green eyes. He had a strong, sleek build. He looked rather athletic. Ditsy gawked for a moment as the other Pegasus swooped down. Hey, he said. What's wrong? Didn't Candyfloss answer the service bell again? His office is at the end of the hall downstairs.
What?
Ditsy was momentarily confused.
Oh, no, I'm not a customer. I'm a new employee.
Really? You're kidding? The other Pegasus responded. We haven't got anyone new in ages. This will be really helpful. He extended a hoof. I'm Autumn Breeze, he said with a friendly smile. But I usually just go by Breeze. And you are?
Ditsy do.
The female Pegasus answered, shaking Breeze's hoof.
I was hired just a couple of minutes ago.
Sweet. The others are all out on jobs right now, so I'll give you the new worker lowdown. He gestured around the room. Later in the day, most of us are going to be hanging out in here. This is where we chill when we're on the clock, but not on assignment. It's a nice place, really. Fridge is usually stocked, and we got hot breakfast and fresh coffee in the mornings. Unfortunately, you seem to have missed breakfast today. Pity too, we had some really nice blueberry muffins. Ditsy jumped and put her hoof to her mouth to stop her squeals. She literally quivered with excitement at the prospect of freshly baked muffins daily. Fortunately for her, Breeze was looking the other way at this time. That's about all we've got around here, Breeze finished, turning back to look at Ditsy. Have you any questions before old Candyfloss sends you out?
Well,
Ditsy pondered.
is there any way to get from here to the warehouse next door?
Breeze raised an eyebrow. What? Why would you need to get in there?
Well, that's where the freight is stored, isn't it?
What freight? Now it was Ditsy's turn to give Breeze a weird look.
You know, the packages, the furniture, everything else. Where's the freight we need to ship?
What are you talking about? Breeze stopped in mid-sentence as he processed Ditsy's last comment. Wait, did you just say the freight we need to ship?
Yes!
Ditsy yelled in exasperation.
This is Equestria's speedy shipping services, isn't it? If I'm going to be a mailman, I need to know where the mail I'm delivering is.
Breeze stared at Ditsy, speechless for a split second. Then he burst into a fit of laughter so intense that he fell to the floor, rolling and flailing around as he continued to guffaw. Ditsy stared at him, completely at a loss for words, to the male Pegasus' seemingly senseless reaction. Oh, I told him! I told Candyfloss this was gonna happen if he didn't reword the ad. He didn't believe me! Oh, I'm never gonna let him live this down.
Excuse me,
Said Ditsy weakly.
but can you please explain what an Equestria is going on?
Breeze finally got to his who's, wiping the tears of laughter away from his eyes. Ditsy, my girl, he said with a chuckle. Nowadays, the word shipping has more than one definition. Ditsy looked skeptical.
Meaning?
Meaning, continued Breeze, that Equestria's speedy shipping service doesn't deliver letters and haul freight at all. Ditsy tensed.
Then what do you do?
The other type of shipping, Breeze answered with a glint in his eye. We at Equestria Speeding Shipping Service aren't delivery ponies. We're pony matchmakers! And thus ends Chapter 1 of Shipping and Handling. I shall read Chapter 2 later. Bye.